Your teenager just slammed their door. Again. You stood there wondering where your child went. The one who used to climb into your lap. The one who told you everything. Now they barely look up from their phone. You feel it as rejection, as disrespect. But neuroscientist Lawrence Steinberg spent 30 years studying this exact moment. And what he found will change how you see that slammed door forever. It is not rebellion. It is architecture. Their brain is literally rebuilding itself, and the blueprint requires pulling away from you. This is human dynamics on Tatveda. Let us begin. The prefrontal cortex, your brain's executive, the part responsible for impulse control, consequence evaluation, and long-term planning, does not fully mature until age 25. Meanwhile, the amygdala fires in a tenth of a second. And the dopamine system in a teenager's brain is roughly twice as sensitive as an adult's. This means rewards feel more rewarding. Risks feel more thrilling. And that is not a defect. It is the biology of becoming independent. If you want to understand what is really happening inside your teenager's brain, subscribe to Tatveda right now. Every video on this channel is research-backed, designed to help you grow your emotional intelligence and become a better parent, partner, and human being. B.J. Casey at Yale developed what she calls the dual systems model of the adolescent brain. It explains nearly every baffling thing a teenager does. Think of the adolescent brain as a car. The limbic system is the gas pedal, fully mature by 13 or 14. It drives emotions, reward-seeking, and social bonding. Everything feels urgent, electric, and life or death. The prefrontal cortex is the braking system. It handles impulse control, risk assessment, and planning for consequences. But it is still under construction. It will not be finished for another decade. So you have a car with a fully functional accelerator and brakes that are still being installed. That is not recklessness. That is developmental biology. And once you see it that way, your frustration begins to transform into understanding. Steinberg's research showed something remarkable. When teenagers were alone, they made decisions almost as carefully as adults. But when peers were present, even watching remotely, their risk-taking tripled. This is because the adolescent brain processes social reward through the same circuits that handle survival needs. Being accepted by peers does not just feel good. To the teenage brain, it feels necessary. Your teen is not choosing friends over you. Their brain is running a survival program that says, your tribe matters more than anything right now. Now let us talk about why the door slams. Why the one-word answers. Why they suddenly need privacy about things they used to share freely. Steinberg describes adolescence as the biological mandate to individuate. Your teenager is not pushing you away because they hate you. They are pushing away because their brain is telling them that becoming a separate person is the most important task they will ever do. Every leave me alone is not a rejection. It is a brick in the wall of their emerging identity. And here is the paradox that every parent struggles with. The wall cannot be built if you are standing in the way. But it also cannot be built if you disappear entirely. They need you close enough to be safe and far enough to be free. If this is starting to change how you see your teenager, please hit the like button. It helps this video reach parents who genuinely need to hear this. Knowing the biology is the first step. The second step is recognizing what we say that accidentally shuts down the very connection we are trying to protect. Because I said so. 3 words that worked when they were 6. At 15, those words trigger a biological alarm. The teen brain reads them as, "Your emerging identity does not matter here." The alternative is not permissiveness. It is transparency. "I have a safety concern. Here is what worries me. Can you help me understand the plan?" You are still the parent. You still get to say no. But when you share your reasoning, you treat them as someone capable of understanding, and that respect is what keeps the conversation alive. You are overreacting. To an adult brain, a friendship falling apart is painful but manageable. To a teenage brain with twice the dopamine sensitivity, it registers as a genuine crisis. The emotion is not proportional to your experience. It is proportional to theirs. When you say you are overreacting, you teach them that their internal experience is wrong. When you say this clearly matters to you, tell me what happened, you teach them that their feelings are real, even when they are intense. That is the foundation of self-awareness. Steinberg uses a metaphor that captures this entire transition. When your child is small, you are their manager. You decide everything. That is appropriate and necessary. But when they become a teenager, your role must shift. You become a consultant. A consultant does not tell the client what to do. A consultant shares expertise, offers perspective, and flags risks. But ultimately, they respect the client's right to make the final call. This does not mean you have no authority. It means your authority now comes from trust and credibility, not from control. Teenagers cooperate far more when they feel consulted than when they feel controlled. The research on this is overwhelming. Adolescents whose parents use autonomy-supportive language show lower rates of depression, higher academic motivation, and here is the one that surprises most parents: better decision-making. Not worse. Better. Because they have been practicing decisions with a safety net. Here is your practice for the week. The smallest shift with the largest downstream effect. The next time your teenager asks for something and your instinct is to say no, pause. And instead say, "Tell me more about that." Or, "Help me understand what you are thinking." Or simply, "What is the plan?" Let them explain. Let them feel heard. Then share your concern. You may still say no. But they will know why. And that why is what keeps the door open, even when they slam it. The tighter you grip, the more they pull away. The more you respect their emerging selfhood, the more they come to you voluntarily. That is the central paradox of parenting a teenager. And the parents who understand it raise adults who call home by choice. If this changed how you see your teenager, subscribe to Tatveda. We promise only research-backed content for your betterment. Share this with a parent who is struggling with a teenager right now. And hit the like button. It takes 1 second and it genuinely helps us reach the families who need this. In the next episode, we tackle the hardest moment when your teenager says something that cuts. How to defuse the time bomb without detonating yourself. Until then, listen more, control less, and stay close.